Hello. How do I feel? Today it's better. I'm still sore, but I feel better. Yesterday afterwards was awful. Just awful. No food trucks, but there was beverages. I ate after I got done, which this was a bad idea. I ate 2 apple pies. Well, they're like mini apple pies. A big thing of brown rice, tofu, veggies, big hot chocolate, 2 big things of water. And I was still hungry as fuck. But like, that was a bad mistake. I felt so sick after eating that. Yesterday I had, that night my stomach was feeling better. I had some Five Guys. That was good with a shake. But yes, the marathon was good. Yeah, so I can explain a little bit of it. I'll show you guys a picture of me crossing the finish line here that I posted. I see people are already putting stupid faces on it. Here we go. So yeah, this is me crossing the finish line after 32 miles. I got some more pictures too, but yeah, it was fucking awful. I think there was 80. I don't know how many people finished. I probably finished in like top 20. Yeah, look at my legs were screaming in pain. They were so fucking veiny and vascular and cramped. My quadricep right here was turning into like a baseball. It was cramping and like twisting. Yeah, it was fucking awful, man. But yes, it went good though. It went good. We finished. We survived. Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. So at the start of it, I was doing really good. I'll open up my splits here. So I used kilometers as splits. There was 53 splits. And it started off really good. So yeah, I saw some of them. So my goal was like sub 6, sub 5 if I felt like an animal that day. I didn't sleep too much. I got like 5 hours of sleep. And then I had to drive like 50 minutes. I woke up very early. But then, so I started off really slow, like 13 minute mile pace for the first kilometer. Then it was 12-minute mile pace for the second, 11-minute for the third, 9.5 minutes for the fourth, 10 minutes for the fifth. A little bit slower on 6, 7, 8 kilometers. Because I was still warming up. And then once I passed the first 10K, which is 6 miles, I felt really good. So then everything after 10K, I was 10-minute mile pace, 9-minute mile pace, 8 30-minute mile pace, 8-minute mile pace, 8-minute, 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 10-minute, 9-minute. And then which is really good. Like I was cooking fast. I felt good. And then my stomach was really bothering me and I wasn't getting enough sodium and glucose. So I tried to drink more of my like electrolyte glucose drink at about the 20K mark. And I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. I'm not like, my stomach's like kind of shutting down a little bit. And I felt very nauseous, and I knew that my stomach wasn't like processing the sugar properly. And so I stopped at about the halfway point, or like 20 kilometers in, and I was like eating some oranges and stuff. And then I took off again, and I was doing okay. My pace was still fine. Then like after another 5, 6, 7 kilometers, I had the worst urge to like puke. And then I I just basically hit the wall. So then I couldn't get any more calories in me. I'd already burnt like 2,000 calories or like 1,800. And I'd only taken in like 400, 500. My legs started giving out, basically. So I was like, basically, I said, I'm just going to start chugging this. And if I puke, I puke, and I'll just keep chugging more. That didn't really help. And basically, I couldn't lift my legs. My hip flexors were like, stopped working. So I knew I was in trouble, and I was like, oh shit, this is when people drop out of these races. I fell, I cut my thumb. It's not too bad, but like at the time it wouldn't stop bleeding because I couldn't lift my legs, and like we had to basically scramble. There was like an entire like 4-mile patch of nothing but uphill, downhill with rocks, mud, roots. So you have to like lift your legs for like 4 miles straight. And yeah, so then I fell a couple times. I cut my thumb pretty bad one time. And then at that point, I was kind of scared because I was kind of going in and out of not consciousness, but I was in so much pain, and this is like the most difficult feeling to describe unless you've done this. You know, like when you're like working out, or like you do like, let's say 20, 30 reps on your legs, and you're screaming and you can't get another one out, but you do. And then you try to push out another 5, and it's that screaming agony. And then you take that, you multiply that, and then you do that for another 3 hours. That's the only way that I can describe it. My entire body it felt like poison, but that was just lactic acid. So acidosis, yes. It felt like my entire body had been poisoned. And that's basically because I'm not flushing the lactic acid in my body faster than it accumulates. So then it keeps accumulating, and it feels like you're actually being poisoned. And basically that happened at mile like 18. And I had another like 18 to 20, and I had 14 miles to go. So, oh God, it sucked. My pace, I went from almost being sub 5 pace, and it dropped drastically. My miles they declined pretty bad, like anywhere from like 10-minute miles to 14 to 15-minute miles. After that, it was the most painful experience. And like I said, it's really hard to describe. Like I wanted to cry because not because like I was in pain, which I was in a lot of pain, but it's the sensation of your body like grasping or like gasping for food. And I'd never felt that before. And then I still have another like 10 miles after that. Yeah, basically it was just a crazy experience. It was yeah, I thought about that too when I was running. I was like, this feels like a fight or flight response, like to the max, to where I didn't, it just was awful. I can't describe the pain. You just have to like feel it. Why didn't you just eat another runner? Well, I did, and that didn't help. Basically, as you see here, this picture is when I finished. I wasn't happy to be done. It was one of those things to where, oh man, Oats, you must have felt so relieved to be done. No, I didn't care. I didn't care about anything. My body and brain were so deprived of calories, and there's so much lactic acid built up in my body that I thought this was like the worst experience. I couldn't even think. So I wasn't glad to be done. I didn't feel anything. I was just wanted to just get home and cry. How much food? Right after this, I ate, this is a bad idea. So after I was done, there was adrenaline in my body, of course, which helped with some of the pain, but the pain was already still so bad. It was 50K. It was 50K trail. So like steep. Some of the things we did were like, you were scrambling and bouldering. for uphill, like a 12 to 15 grade for miles. It was fucking awful. It was 32 and a half miles total. After this, my adrenaline was starting to like shut down a little bit, but I ate 2 small apple pies, a huge thing of like rice and tofu, big thing of hot chocolate, which was a terrible idea because I think my stomach, my digestive system like stopped working at that point. It like shut down to like deliver blood to my muscles when I stopped. I felt so sick after I ate that. It was the worst thing. I shouldn't have ate that much. And then once the adrenaline wore off, I had never felt that much pain in my body. I feel good now. I'm super sore, and like every part of me is sore. My arms doing this for like 6.5 hours. It's everything. But yeah, so basically, it was an experience. I'm glad I did it now. Yesterday, I couldn't care less that I finished at all. I couldn't care. Today, I feel better. I'm glad I did it today. And I'll definitely do it again next year. And now I know what to expect. I know that one lesson I learned is I drank this stuff called Tailwind, and it has sodium, potassium, and glucose in it, which is really good. And it's like easier on your stomach. However, I don't think you should rely on your sodium and potassium from mixed in with your sugar, because you have to drink all that sugar in order to get your sodium. So I'm always going to have just an electrolyte pill with water and have like sugar separate. That's one thing I learned. Another thing is this shit sucks, and you need to like, my heart rate was really good. So if I like look at my charts, my heart rate was awesome. My average was 156. It was great. Even when I was like running 8-minute miles, it was really, really chill. So my cardio was really good, but the lactic acid buildup was not something that I've ever experienced. So basically I would need to train that. So now I know about 4,000 calories is what it said I burned. I wore a Oura ring, and it said I burned like 6,000, and my Garmin watch said I burned about 4,000. And I could only take in about 800 calories because my stomach just wouldn't allow it. So yeah, I'm glad I did it, and I'm gonna do it again next year. If Tiggleton says I got bird legs, I'm just gonna show him these fucking calves. Just these big, meaty, veiny calves. Yep. All right. No, the thing is, like, also, one last thing. I was on, like, sub 5 pace, which is really fucking good for this course. Like, not many people can run sub 5 on that. Until I hit that wall, and then it just tanked. But, once I hit the wall, my ego or anything that I had just was gone. I didn't give a shit about my time. I just needed to finish. It was like fight or flight. And because I felt like I could easily dropped out at any point after I hit the wall. So I finished in 6.5 hours, which was fine. I finished. And this is my first year running. This time last year, I couldn't even run a mile. Now a year fast forward, I did 32. Pretty well. My last half wasn't great, but the first half was really good. But yeah, it was an experience. I'm glad I did it. No, I didn't even poop the entire time. No, I was just absorbing them nutrients. Yeah.